What's up everybody, it's your man Pots and Pans. Today we are starting something new. Things look a little bit different. The point of today is I want to start doing more lifestyle videos. I want to start sharing, what works for me. I mean, hey, I'm a chef. I'm not a doctor. So for the longest time, I was in my head like, should I make these videos? Should I or shouldn't I? And then you get to the point where you're just shooting all over yourself, and that's gross. But these are my experiences and they can help somebody. You never know how this is gonna go. So here we are, we're gonna start today. The best way to lose weight, to feel better, to live longer in the new year, now, today, is by fasting. Now, fasting has grown a lot over the last couple of years. I feel like I live in this bubble, even though I'm in Los Angeles, and I feel like everyone knows what fasting is about. There's apparently a lot of people that don't. CNN just put out something about like 3 days ago that was like, hey, not eating for 12 to 16 to 18 hours could actually be good for you. And I was thinking to myself, well, hey, how do you not know this? A lot of people don't know. So again, I'm just gonna share why I love fasting, why I think you should do it. Mainly because it's fast. It's simple, kind of difficult, but it's in theory, it's simple to do. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to buy supplements. You don't need to figure out what kind of diet you should be on. All you need to do is just stop eating. You don't need to change anything you're eating, and you could still get a lot of benefit by just constricting your window. Eat the same things if you want to tiptoe your way into a new you, even though I think you're a little weak. But that's nor here nor there. Now there's plenty of benefits. We could be here all day. I'm gonna talk about why fasting is very good for you. For this specific video, I just wanna focus on why you're gonna lose weight and why you're gonna feel better. Now I will say that fasting isn't necessarily the best thing if you are suffering from extreme adrenal fatigue, you have HPA axis dysfunction, but if you're not familiar with fasting, you don't know what the f those things are anyway. So I think for 99.9% of people, fasting will have a lot of benefits. Two main points, okay? People eat way too fucking much and they eat way too fucking often. The most important concept that I want you guys to grasp today out of all of this is that you're either storing or you're burning energy. Most people are just eating way too much all day long. There's this metabolic myth that's out there that says your metabolism's gonna slow down if you don't eat. Who told you that? Todd from LA Fitness. And people have followed that for a long time, and that's just simply not true. In fact, that's actually not a good thing because you have to think about your body triaging energy to various areas and various jobs that your body needs to execute. If you're eating all the time, then your body is spending so much of its resources and energy on just digesting what you're eating. I think this is a big reason why a lot of people just get sick and injured and overstressed and they just bury themselves into a hole, is because they're just constantly eating and they're constantly inflamed with terrible foods and whatnot, but they don't give themselves a chance to actually repair what's going on. You can't deal with stress if you're just always digesting food. That's of course a very small piece of it, but it is a massive piece in my opinion. I'm never sick. I fast all the time. This is an N of one kind of thing, but I'm literally never sick because I'm performing intermittent fasting, I'm doing time restricted feeding, which we will also get into. I'm doing extended fast multiple days. It gives your body a chance to rid itself of precancerous cells and maybe anything that's like broken, senescent, your cells are just damaged and they're just hanging around, not doing much. You clear house. Okay, when you stop eating, your body starts to use all of these cells as energy because you're not supplying it energy. It's pretty much, I don't want to say as simple as that, but that's a very good way to look at it. Now coming back to fasting for weight loss specifically in the whole, you're either storing or you're burning, that's what happens. You eat something, your body's gonna use what it needs, then it's gonna store. If you take in carbohydrates, it's gonna break that down into sugars, it's gonna be stored as glycogen in your liver, your muscle tissues. Then a lot of it, if you're not using it, especially if you're very inactive, it's gonna store away. It's gonna store it as fat, and it can use that as energy, okay? But most people don't give their bodies a chance to use that stored energy. idea behind this is that in times of famine, our bodies would use this built-in mechanism of metabolizing fatty acids, using that for energy to get through times of famine. I already said that. But when there was no food, what were you going to do? That's why, you got a lot of carbs and sugars in the form of fruits and root vegetables and all these other things, tubers, from summer into fall, and then you just stack on the weight. That would be the ideal thing. You stack it on, like a big old fluffy pudgy bear. It's going in for the hibernation. You need that energy to burn it off when everything frosts over and there's no more vegetation. Maybe it's harder, there's not as many animals around, there's not as much access to energy in the form of food, and that's why we continue to stack on the fat, and it's hard to lose it because we're just shoving tamales and hot Cheetos and Takis and frosted mini wheats down our throat from the minute we wake up to the moment we go to bed. And I actually love frosted mini wheats, so no judgment there necessarily, but they're terrible for you. Comment your favorite cereal down below. If you stop eating for half the day, 12 hours, and then work your way up to extended fast, your body's gonna learn how to metabolize and break down the stored energy in fat and use it as fuel. Eat the same foods. I mean, a lot of you should probably change what you're eating, but also eat the same foods, but constrict your window. So I recommend starting at 12 hours. This should not be an issue for most people. A lot of people are like, I can never do this. Grow a set of mental balls, okay? Toughen up, believe in yourself, affirmations, whatever you gotta do to get through a little bit of a fast. Then once you do 12 hours, you can work to 16 and 18 and 36 hour, which is a day and a half for these slow people, and then 48, and some people do weeks. The longest ever recorded fast was like 450 days or something, because the guy was really overweight, he had a lot of fat, and his body just used that fat over time as energy, and he lived with doctor supervision and some vitamins, little simple things like that. He lost a ton of weight, and his body ate the skin cells, so he didn't have all that loose excess skin that most people do when they diet and lose weight in a terrible way. Guys, fasting is awesome, okay? So you have to decide how you're gonna do it. The biggest difference here between intermittent fasting and time-restricted feeding comes down to xenobiotics. Anything that is outside of your body that you have to break down and metabolize that's not water, xenobiotics. This includes coffee, teas, supplements, amino acids, fats. Yes, fats break your fast. What are you guys, stupid? That breaks a fast, technically on a metabolic level, okay? But intermittent fasters get away with black coffee. Black coffee is awesome actually when you're fasting for many reasons we'll discuss in another video. But time-restricted feeding, and this is based off of research by Dr. Sachin Panda. This guy is amazing. If you want to geek out on it, it's awesome. It has to do with your body's circadian rhythms in reference to the universe that we live into and light and dark cycles and all your organs and the clocks that they got going on. If you do this, I promise you, you will see massive amount of benefit. You're activating longevity genes and activating all this expression of goody goods in your genetics, okay? Goody goods is something that I'll break down later. So once again, you're gonna see massive benefit from this if you stick to it. And if you're mentally tough, okay, just start at 12, then go to 14 hours and 16, 18, work your way all the way up. You're gonna shred the weight, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna learn what it's like to not have to be grumpy, okay? Because your body's gonna get better when it doesn't have the calories. You're gonna be less carb dependent. You're gonna increase your insulin sensitivity. A lot of this stuff that you probably don't understand, but we'll get to that at another time, okay? I don't got time for that today. Drink tons and tons and tons of water. Sparkling water, if you can deal with it. I don't know, my stomach doesn't necessarily agree all the time, but that does work for other people. And again, just be tough, okay? Don't be a baby about it. This is already longer than I wanted it to be, but I want you guys to have a lot of information just so you can get started. Now, I will definitely expand. I'll do another video. If you guys drop all your comments and questions, if you want to know how I actually do it, what works for me, the guidelines, the hours in which I do it, I'll definitely do a follow-up video for that. But until then, play with it. You're free now. Go. Last but not least, I can't stress this enough. I'm a chef who reads and reads the literature. I suggest highly that you do the same. Don't be a headline reader. Don't be a nightmare. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Killing the game. Mash money in. All right, that's enough. I'll see you later.